And then fourth place.
We got to see a lot of this kid, and impressive, right? Minus his sunglasses, I loved him.
I guess my take on no chance in the world at winning worlds was a little bit off.
I didn't know he throws that far, bro. He bombs.
And it looks so easy. And he putts like a maniac.
Dude, he made some disgusting putts. 14 back-to-back days from crazy distance.
Yeah.
Yo, what up, party people? Welcome back to the Players Meeting, a Win Dummies production. And you know, we are at episode number 25, and you should all be well familiar with what we're going to be talking about this week. We're going to discuss the World Championship of Disc Golf. We'll talk about all of the great performances and maybe some not so great performances as well. How does someone win when they putt so bad? Did we witness the biggest collapse of all time? Is hole 14 a good hole? Is it good for the sport? Is it bad for the sport? We'll discuss all of that and more. Just a reminder, if you have not, please subscribe to the Discin Deals Coverage YouTube. You can find all of the Players Meeting podcasts there. Also, you can find us anywhere you get your podcasts. That could be Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts. You name it, it's there. Without further ado, though, let's bring in the main star of the show, the one-time world champ. You know him, you love him, Chris Smith, a.k.a. Smitty. What up, Smitty?
Not much, man. Just trying to recover from a long week of disc golf.
And it was a definite week of disc golf. 5 full days packed full of some good and some bad, and can't wait to discuss it. Me and you are rocking this as the dynamic duo tonight.
I think we can handle it for sure.
Oh yeah, I'm excited. So Smitty, let's just jump into this and start where we always start. What's poppin'? What's been happening around the world of disc golf? And we're not going to waste any time. We're going to jump right into the World Championship.
I don't know where else you would go after a week like that, man. It's the greatest week of disc golf by far. So much fun to watch. So much fun to play if you get the chance to do that. So you ready?
Yeah, and I thought tonight, I mean, if you're a disc golf fan, if you're watching this podcast, you watched Worlds, you know what happened. I'd say let's skip the recap tonight, and let's just jump right into talking about some of the action, some of the storylines, because I'm excited. I'm excited to get into it.
Let's start with the ladies, man. Big props to Evelina Salonen for winning her first world title. Probably not her last, I'm guessing. No matter what we say tonight, what we feel about the rounds of disc golf, she is a world champ. She earned a world title. She was able to beat the course and beat all the other women who had the same aspiration she did of winning a world title. So I don't want it to look like we're glossing over this amazing feat to be the professional women's world champion.
Yeah, and the very first Finnish player to ever win a championship as well.
Not the first Euro, though.
No. Who was that?
The first Euro was Brigitte Langenholm a long time ago. Val tried to say she was the only European, and then I'm like, Val, how about Kristin Tattar? So, but I mean, I get it, dude. She was trying to fill time and whatever, but we're not talking commentary. We're not talking any of that. None of that matters. Let's talk some disc golf.
Let's do it. So the question we have to ask, Smitty, is how in the world does Evelina win when she is the worst putter in the field? Statistically, was she the worst this weekend?
She was in the bottom 5%, I think, is what I heard.
So how do you make that happen at a world championship, 5 full days? you putt in the lower part of the field, and somehow you are a world champion. How does that happen?
And the last round was by far the worst. I mean, she was nowhere near the basket at all. James Proctor gets huge props for coaching her through that and helping her win, because I think she would have melted down without him on the bag. So we had a lead card full of gals that was about to melt down. But I mean, the obvious way that she won the world title putting so bad was she out threw everybody else in the field by far. I mean, she was the cream of the crop when it came to tee shots and shots out of the fairway. I also think a lot of the OBs that were close to the basket were really close to the basket. So in any case where they would go out of bounds close to the tee, most generally they would clean it up. But we'll get into this a little bit more, I'm sure. But OB is what decided this tournament. Phil Bustamento asked me this last night, what I thought, how she won, how she putted so bad and won. So I had a little time to think about it. And I posted to him at 5 o'clock this morning when I woke up. But basically, here's what I said. I said, Evelina was horrible on the green and amazing off the tee. She had the fewest bogey pluses in the entire field. She led the field in circle 1 and circle 2 in regulation and had only, this sounds like a lot, but only 14 OBs in 5 rounds, which seems like a lot of OBs, but every single hole at Ivy Hill had OB looming.
Oh, yeah.
If you're just a little bit off or a little bit uncommitted. And OB was the key stat, man. Messing up on the green like Evelina did usually only added 1, maybe 2 strokes. I think she 3-putted 1 hole. But generally, she was so scared to putt that her misses were
essentially layups.
Drop-ins. Yeah, which is fine. That's why she won, because she laid them up, basically. Not to. OB on the fairway often led to multiple strokes for several reasons. Number one, it's an automatic stroke, right? You're out of bounds. There's a stroke. Can't cover that up. Number 2, you are a long ways from the pin, which is surrounded by OB. So it could lead to multiple OBs, and you're generally in terrible position on that course if you're out of bounds. So, I mean, that really, that was the telltale reason for the victory was the OBs. And I got some interesting stats. The other ladies had the following OBs: Kristin Tattar, 17. Natalie Ryan, 21. Kat Mertsch, 23.
Oh.
Holyn Handley, 27 OBs. And the woman's GOAT, Paige Pierce, 28 OBs. Let me look real quick at Holyn. Yeah, she had 12 OBs in the last round. She had as many OB strokes in the last round as Evelina had for the entire tournament, basically.
My God.
You can't overcome that. So, yeah, OBs, putting, important stat when you can throw the disc anywhere you want. But in the women's field, putting was not a premium at this tournament, the way the course was set up by far.
I think Evelina's stat was lower for her putting because I do think she did lay up a lot more than a lot of the other women did. She truly just did not look comfortable on that putting green.
No. She was so scared. She didn't know. I've never felt what she's feeling. I mean, I felt like I was going to miss before, but she knows she's going to miss. She can't get, I mean, she just can't get her hand to extend towards the basket and even remotely commit to a putt. Let's look at some of these other people, though.
Yeah, we got to mention Kat Mertsch.
Let's just talk about her. How did Kat Mertsch not win, right? She took the lead. She ended up losing by 2 strokes, okay? Mm-hmm. And she took the lead on did she have the lead at 10?
Yeah, I think right after the front 9, she took the lead. So
where did she blow it? Do you have any idea? Because I do. I can tell you exactly where she lost it. Holes 15.
Okay, I was going to say, I don't think 14 got her because I know we're going to talk about 14 later. So what happened on 15? That's the one where you have like you throw down and you have the woods.
You got to clear
towards the end.
Throw on. Well, the ladies didn't have to do any carry. They just had, that's the one that's straight up the hill.
Yeah.
Out of bounds, off the tee for sure. and then
What'd she end up taking?
couldn't get up and down. She parred it.
She parred?
No, she bogeyed. She took a bogey.
Okay. And did Evelina birdie that one?
Evelina birdied 15. So there's 2 strokes.
Yeah.
Hole 16, Cat, out of bounds. Hole 17, Cat, out of bounds.
And
Hole 18, Cat, out of bounds.
my God.
This chick went out of bounds on 6 of the last 7 holes.
Yeah, that's
Did
not
all
going to
that
lead
work.
to a victory.
All that work the entire week, played phenomenal the first 9 holes, and then just couldn't keep it in bounds.
What did you think about her attitude after when they interviewed her, knowing she got second? She seemed just pretty pumped in general just to have competed. I think she knows she could have won, but I think she was also not letting that emotion hit her yet. What did you think?
I one time got 4th at the Masters Rules Championships and probably threw it away on the last 2 rounds, and I was happy with 4th place.
Yeah.
So, I mean, does it sting today? Yes. She's thinking, God dang it, I should have won it. But she's always going to be able to say she was podium finish at Worlds.
Yeah, and it's amazing. And honestly, he putted so well this weekend. Just big putt after big putt. And
She
that's
made a
really
lot.
what kept her in it.
She made a lot of long putts.
Yes.
So I thought the coolest thing was when Evelina made her putt on 14. They panned over to Kat and she gave her a fist bump.
Yeah, she's like, yeah.
Eva. So I thought that was super cool just to be in the heat of the moment and fist pumping. But I'll tell you what, you're never going to see Isaac Robinson fist pump for somebody else. You're never going to see Ricky Wysocki fist pump for somebody else.
Yeah.
So they're not rooting against the person, but they're pulling for themselves more than anybody else. So
I wonder if they have, being both Innova and she knows that Evelina's never won a world championship. If it would have been anyone else, is she as enthusiastic is what I wonder.
I think they all love Evelina. I think she must be a really cool person, must be a really nice, fun to be around gal, because even when she won at chess.com way back then, that they were all so excited for her. So I'm wondering if it's just Evelina's just a good person and they love her, but total difference between dudes and chicks, right?
Agreed.
We want to kill each other.
Yeah.
Right?
And just not always saying that out loud.
You don't have to, right?
Yep.
And you can't watch somebody make a putt and go, lucky son of a gun. You can't do that. I mean, you can say that stuff jokingly with your buddies, but you can't do that. So what about third place? What about Kristin Tattar?
Dude, how in the world does she end up in third place after her tournament? I mean, she never really posed any type of threat to anyone, right? Mm-hmm. She was off all week long, but somehow she ends up a podium finish. How does that happen?
The rest of them were just that bad the last round. Interesting thing. You know what Evelina averaged for the tournament rating-wise?
It's probably less than 1,000?
998. Exactly Kristin Tattar's rating. So if she just plays her rating, she ties for the win. She had a bad week. She looked awesome in the doubles.
Yeah.
Really awesome. But just didn't have it. And that's going to happen. From time to time, this is just the worst possible time for that to happen. And, dude, I would still bet on her knowing the outcome. I would still think she is going to win this dang thing just because both courses are tailor-made for her. Don't shoot yourself in the foot. Mm-hmm. Make putts.
Yep, stay in bounds. And she still, relative to the rest of the ladies, still stayed in bounds pretty well, but her putt just didn't look good. She was turning over forehands that I've never seen her her angles were all wrong with her forehand. So there was something just wasn't right with her timing or whatever it is. She just didn't have her stuff. And kudos to her for sticking with it and getting a podium finish. But I mean, she was by and large the odds-on favorite to win, and she just didn't bring it.
5 out of the win, playing like total dog poop for herself. What she averaged for the tournament? She shot 990 golf for the weekend. So
and that wasn't even close to how good she is. We all know that.
No, but it's not terrible either, right?
No,
almost her rating, but she's 5 out. One awesome round out of all 5 of them. One killer round, she could have still been the champion.
It's crazy. She, I think, was 12 out of it with 2 rounds to go, and I'm still thinking, man, I think she still has a chance because of who she is. And we played league on Saturday, and I think she was 6 back then, maybe 7. I can't remember exactly the number. And I'm like, I still think she has a shot. And if she would have played just a little bit better, even that final round, maybe.
She was 9 back going into the final round.
9, okay.
Which is a lot.
Yeah.
Almost too many. Almost, I say too many. But, I mean, Evelina went 1 up and Holyn Handley went 8 up. So, my gosh,
Let's talk about her. We got to. You already mentioned Holyn had 27 OBs. How do you lose? She looked like she was in control most of the way. And then the last round, I mean, is that the biggest collapse we've ever seen from someone? I mean, that was choke city.
It's pretty bad, right? It's pretty bad. It's one that's going to be really hard for her to recover from. I mean, that's going to haunt her for a long time. Do you know what her score was after 4 rounds?
Her and Evelina were tied, right? I don't remember exactly what it was.
She was 20 down. 20 down. Evelina was 19 down. Do you know what Evelina won the tournament at?
Well, you just said she shot +1. So
18 down. So if Holyn can shoot even,
she wins.
She wins, right? Time and place, dude. Know the situation type deal. You watched Ezra Robinson. He wasn't trying to go big off the tee. He could go a lot farther than he wanted, but he put such a high priority on being safe that was key to his success. And I don't think she was thinking that way. She was in attack mode still. But, even going into hole 14, she was 2 up after 13. Okay, that's not terrible. There's a lot of easy.
She can make that birdies. Yeah.
Hole 14 ended it, dude.
It did.
8.
She did not play that hell well at all.
The drive was fine. The second shot was fine. The upshot was horrific.
It was so bad. It was like an early release, and
I mean, you 100% know what she was trying to do. She was trying to Anheuser it up to above the pin to the grass.
That's the play. That's what you got to do. But she had 0 ante on it.
And 0 commitment. It was way too soft. It had 0 chance whatsoever. And then the hit, and then the roll, and
yeah.
I mean, that point, game over.
Yeah.
I mean,
that deflated her.
Evelina birdies it. She made up 4 strokes on her on that hole. I understand the 7-5-4 to follow.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at that point, she's just doing everything she can, throwing crazy. So I get it. But where did she finish? I don't even remember.
4th.
Okay. She still finished 4th. And that's what's crazy is she shot 9 over, still finished 4th. That's how well she was playing all weekend until that final round.
Yeah. She went 10 down, 2 down. That's at Ivy again. 8 down back at New London. 3 down, 8 up. So she destroyed New London.
She did.
And didn't do so well. Did terrible at Ivy. So, but I mean, gosh dang it. that's terrible, man. That's
It
terrible.
is.
And then, some other people that we thought would be in the running for the win. Missy Gannon finishes 6th. Natalie Ryan, whatever, finishes 5th. Haley King, who I think, I'll say it again, has the most talent of any woman on the tour, 7th. Heidi Line in 8th. Obviously, the GOAT, Paige Pearson, 9th. And then another good driver, bad putter, Hannah Blumrose, rounds out the top 10. So, yeah, the women's was it was impossible, nearly impossible to watch on Sunday.
I will say that was not great disc golf.
No, it was absolute garbage.
No, I mean, it just felt like no one wanted it except for Kat until Kat collapsed on, 15. But it's crazy. It's just like everyone's just like, no, I don't want it. I'm too scared. It just felt like everyone was playing so nervous, and just it wasn't good disc golf.
Yep, it was not fun.
Yeah, this was fun, wasn't it?
Look at this dude right here.
2-time.
And probably just successfully pulled his chair up to the PGJ Hall of Fame.
Oh, really?
Not? Well, do you know who the only other professional disc golfers to go back-to-back on world titles are?
Rick did it.
Rick did it.
I'm sure Climo did it.
Climo did it 9 times.
Macbeth did it.
Macbeth.
And that's about all I got. Who else did it?
Barry Schultz.
Okay, and that's it. That's the list.
Quite possibly the 4 greatest players we've ever had. Okay, and now this guy's done it. Another cool stat I heard was that Isaac Robinson has won as many world titles since 2016 as both Paul and Rick have.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It was dominant, and this dude was in control from the very first tee shot. It was it was a special week for this guy for sure.
Can't take away anything from the guy. He hasn't had the year that I think we thought he would have, but boy, did he come with it this week, I should say. 5 full days, wire to wire.
Yeah. Did you see that that post that Dixon Jowers put out?
I did.
Perfect. And then Isaac's response to it was so good. Dixon basically said, you watch Isaac Robinson play all year, you wonder how he won a world title. And then you watch Isaac Robinson play at Worlds and you wonder how he never loses or something.
Yeah, how he doesn't win every tournament.
Yeah. So fantastic tournament for this guy. We'll go through some stuff. We'll talk about, everything, but this dude earned his victory. He beat currently the strongest field we've ever had in disc golf.
Yeah.
And he had some fortunate stuff go his way for sure.
So yeah, congratulations to Isaac, but let's look at some other peeps. We got to talk about Lil Nick.
Man, what a baller. What a baller. This dude battled the entire round, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I said it early that 14 was going to ruin a couple people's weeks, and unfortunately it ruined the tournament in both men's and women's. That putt that he had to make, he had to go for that.
He did.
And he putted it as good as you possibly could. Right now, you look at it in slow motion and you can see that it's high and it's a little bit left, but the dude is 40 feet below the pin from 40 feet. That was an incredible putt.
Such a good putt. It's unfortunate.
To spit out. And on that green, man, anything that comes out of the basket is gonzo. And for little Nick, man, he's lucky that thing stayed in bounds.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, it curled up, didn't go OB. I mean, if it does, he can re-putt it, but he could have the same thing happen again from that location. Absolutely. So it was unfortunate. I don't think, though, tell me if you think this might be real, but because he putts with a little bit of a hyzer, right? I think that also causes the spit when it's high, and with that slope, I think it also didn't help anything. If he came in with an anhyzer, I think it sticks.
If it hits right side of the pole, it probably sticks because it's flying into the pole. So as it hyzers past the pole to the left, I mean, if it's that high, it's going to come out. If it's low, there's a chance. But as high as that thing was, no chance. But what composure to go out there to 80 feet and lay it up on the dumbest, scariest, stupidest green you've ever seen in disc golf, and save the bogey.
Yeah,
that was huge.
Yeah,
right, super big. And then go into 15, and Isaac struggled a bit on 15.
He did. He got up and down, but
he shot, hit the trees on the right, could have went OB pretty easily. Threw his shot up a little bit short and made a nice, 20-foot putt or whatever, which is
I think he hit a tree on the way into the green too, right? So
it wasn't good.
No.
And Niklas got the bird on that. Went into hole 16, basically forced his hand. He had to play it for birdie. He had to play 16 for birdie, and he had to go roller to get over the little skinny part. Let's see how many birdies there were on that sucker. 12 birdies in the final round out of 85. So not tremendous. 14% of the field birdied it. So his roller just didn't have a chance.
No, never had a shot. But he had to do it though.
He had to. Well, I don't know if he did, but
he was 3 back then. Yeah.
Yeah. He finished 4 back. I mean, yeah. If he clears it, makes a birdie, now we have a ball game again. But what a tough deal. And that basically ended it right there. 17 was somebody's either going to 2 it or 4 it, and there wasn't going to be enough holes left. And Isaac was just going to play 18, just down the pipe. Not worry about it. But yeah, that sucked. That really sucked for him, that roll away. And we can't say if that thing sticks, he wins. But if that thing sticks, he's got a good shot.
Yeah, if that thing sticks, he takes 1 on Isaac there, and he's only down 2.
2 back.
And then they play it the same way.
If everything plays out, he picks up 1 on 15.
He's not going roller on 16. I can guarantee that.
So we're going into 17 tie or 1 back.
They probably both lay up to be safe.
Possibly, right? Or maybe one of Niklas is going to have the box.
He's just not an aggressive player in my mind. I don't think he does that. Do you think he would go for it in that situation? I know this is all speculation and fun, but I just don't see him going for it.
Yeah, because, if you go for it and you miss, game over.
Yeah.
If you lay up and force Isaac's hand, Isaac lays up. You gave yourself a shot going into 18.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
A lot of people birdied 18.
Yeah, does he think he can get one on 18 or 17? I think that's what he would ask himself, right? Where can he pick up the stroke? And it's probably easier to pick up that stroke on 17.
Isaac birdied 18 and Niklas parred 18 in round 4. Niklas birdied 17 in round 4. He's going for it, dude. Round 2, Isaac went layup on 17, par on 18. I got to scroll way down for little Nick. He went for it again. He went for 17 both rounds. So he's 100% going for 17 if he's down 1.
Okay. Man, that would have been exciting. But yeah, it sucks. It sucks. But we're going to talk about hole 14 later. But that's not the hole's fault, in my opinion. That's not the hole's fault. You have spit outs that happen. You know that's the risk of going for that putt. It sucks that he missed and he had to spit out because you know you're going to get the roll away if you miss. Yeah. Unless you completely airball it.
And when we come back and talk about that, we'll. I told somebody yesterday how I could fix it, and then Scott Stokely made a video saying pretty much what I said as well.
Oh, okay. All right.
But look at third place, dude. Couldn't be more happy for the thin young bird.
Yeah, I was not expecting it, obviously.
No, he's shredded. And, he's another one who's one hot round away from being up in the mix even a little bit more. Like, he's 5 back of Isaac. And we really never saw much of him. He was never a threat to win. And then 4th place.
We got to see a lot of this kid, and impressive, right? Minus his sunglasses, I loved him.
I guess my take on no chance in the world at winning worlds was a little bit off.
I didn't know he throws that far, bro. He bombs.
And it looks so easy. And he putts like a maniac.
Dude, he made some disgusting putts. 14 back-to-back days from crazy distance.
Yeah, from 20 foot from the sidewalk. So probably 50, 60 feet putt. And the day 5, he banged the putt on 14, went over to 15 and banged a monster up that hill as well. Yeah. Right? Incredible. Let me see something here.
I will say he needs to slow down with his run-ins because he almost fell like 5 different times. I'm like, bro, be careful.
When he's running after his putt?
Yeah,
up that dang hill on 14, dude, you're one slip from ending your season.
I know. I'm like, chill. And then the same thing happened on 15. He's slipping and sliding.
But OB was the cause of the women. We talked about how important it was in the women's tournament. Listen to these numbers. Isaac, Eagle, Vinny, Buhr. 1st, 3rd, 4th, 7th. 15 OBs each. Little Nick, 2nd place. 11 OBs.
That's it.
2 of which were on hole 17.
Yep.
Luke Taylor, 22 OBs.
Man. Yep. That was the story for him, wasn't it? And still a 4th place finish. Keep it in bounds. But I mean, I guess that's also what you get when you throw that far is you're bringing more OB into question on some of the holes where other people aren't running things.
I think that's part of the course design that you have to game plan for. You can get into position on some of those holes by not going big off the tee and going big on the 2nd shot. There, if you go out of bounds, you're by the pin. Versus going big off the tee, ending up out of bounds, and having to go big again and maybe going out of bounds. And hole 10, for example.
Mm-hmm.
That kid doesn't need to go huge off of 10. He needs to go controlled off of 10 and then drop a bomb like Niklas did in the last round. That was maybe the grossest shot of the tournament. That was really so good. Nasty. Hey, and what about 10 for Isaac?
Dude, I 1,000% thought they were going to make the wrong call.
Mm-hmm. It was it's amazing under that much pressure how cool, calm, and collected all 4 of those dudes were, and talked about it and gave it. I felt like
thank God for Luke Taylor having a level head.
He was down. He was giving it to him.
Yeah, he was the only one, right?
Isaac was 100% going to take it. Vinny didn't want to give it to him. I didn't feel like.
No, Vinny didn't, and neither did Nick. So it's 2-2, and they gave benefit.
I don't know how they couldn't see those stupid stakes. And
I mean, we had the luxury of seeing it, but like even from like back there, like it seemed like it was pretty easy to see that was in bounds first.
Yeah. And man, my knees would have been knocking on that putt. He just stepped up, just put it in like it was nothing.
He's so casual with that putt. I love his putt, man.
Vinny, go watch the podcast.
Yeah, he didn't listen. I messaged you that and said he is not taking your advice, Smitty. And if he would have, he might have a different winner.
I mean, it's so much easier said than done to putt 2 inches higher. I mean, that's my miss too, all the time.
Me
Doink,
too.
doink, doink, frustrating as heck. But yeah, he had a lot of face masks that kept him out of real contention towards the end. Ricky, man, kind of like Kristin, just bad week.
Yeah, didn't really hear from him too much.
Mm-mm.
Let me go back to Vinny real quick.
Okay.
Did you think that he lost interest real quick that last round? Like hole 6 or 7? Like it just felt like he was like done.
Oh, hole 5, I kind of got a weird vibe from him when he tried to go over the top with that Draco and he hit the tree.
Yeah.
But that's nothing new. That happened in Utah. He checked out. Last year, I don't know if he was was he in the lead card coming down it? I don't know, man. I guarantee he's not checking out. He's still trying to win, but I think that may just be his demeanor and the way it looks like he's checking out.
I just, on some of those calls, he's just like, I don't care, take it over there. You know, it just, it felt like he was just so done, knowing that he wasn't going to get the win. You know what I mean?
And some of those calls were tough, dude. Like hole 16, they couldn't see the short side of the OB, and what a tough situation to put him in.
Yeah, such a tough call. I mean, because Calvin took his
too.
Yeah, that definitely needs a spotter if they do that one again, because Luke really fought for his, that he was way up the fairway. But Calvin didn't fight as hard and didn't get the same spot. But anyways, yeah, they had quite a few conversations about OB, basically, because that course is riddled with it.
Luke was actually safe on 16. It was 15 that he threw out of bounds.
That's what I meant, 15, yeah.
Yeah, they both threw out of bounds left.
That's a tough one on 15, too, in my mind. Yeah. Because you can't actually see where it actually bends to see did he cross OB or not.
But still, in the end, it's going to come down to a group decision. But
yeah,
just to have a spotter say, and back to Cat Mertsch again, there's a point where somebody threw out of bounds and it hit one of the stakes, and the crowd told them when they walked up there, said it hit the stake, and exact quote out of Mertsch was, "Hey, if they say it hit the stake, I believe them." And it wasn't a call for her; it was a call for Evelina, I believe. So
yeah.
I don't know what the fix is for that.
That's just a spotter's all that's needed there.
At the World Championships, it could be more than a volunteer spotter. It could be a certified spotter. I mean, this is the big show, right? This is the time to make sure everything is perfect. A person on that hole that knows all the rules and is in charge of that hole type deal. Possibly. I don't know, man. Especially if you're going to have that many weird things that can happen.
Yeah.
There were some weird things that happened this week.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Let's talk about Simon, though. He came in clutch that final round. Yeah, he was 8 down through 10, I think, at one point.
He finished 10 overall, and he took he was. There's 5, 7, 9, 10. No. Yeah, he was 10 through 13.
10 through 13. Crazy round.
14 got him. Got a 6 on 14. Eagled 15.
Yeah, this is where the roller coaster started, right? After 14.
Yeah. Eagled 15, bogeyed 16, birdie finish.
Yeah.
But not the hot round.
Yeah, because that belonged to Ezra Robinson.
Big brother Rob.
And what a weekend for the Robinson brothers.
And how awesome would that be to have your dad there on the bag for one of the brothers and everybody?
Yeah.
Had to be fun for those guys, man.
It had to. It just, you know exactly who the favorite son is, though.
Well, I think if Ezra happens to win, I bet Dad carries the bag for him the following year.
I think Ezra usually has his wife on the bag. I think is why that probably happened.
I didn't see her there all weekend.
I didn't either.
but I'm sure he could find somebody to carry for him. And then there's just two names that we left out on this top 10. We might as well mention them. Gannon Buhr, who was probably the odds-on favorite going in.
Mm-hmm.
Just, man, he threw out of bounds a lot and made some ridiculous putts, if you can believe that.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. But he also missed some that, it was just a very interesting tournament for Gannon.
The whole deal with the guy falling down in his putt.
Yeah.
God. Missed the comebacker. I mean,
well,
the guy fell.
Yeah.
I would be mad too.
Oh, I would have been pissed. Yeah. I mean, I get it. But that kind of stuff happens when you have live events and spectators.
And that's out of his control.
Yeah, it sucks though.
You know what's not out of his control? Your dog's barking. That's out of his control 100%.
Yeah.
No, he got called another time violation.
Did he? I didn't know he was on a clock.
They put him on his card on a clock, and they had an official walking with him. How else can you say I don't give a crap about your rule than getting called every single tournament and it's causing stress to you? He said he can't go through his routine and get in the flow in 30 seconds, basically.
Well, you got to learn, buddy. It's the rules. But
they don't matter. He gets won a tournament and
then somehow figures it out.
I guess, man. I mean, come on. Fix the issue.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the same thing we were saying about Cupcake earlier in the year.
If he would get rid of that stupid rosin bag, that would cut 10 seconds off of every throw, because he tries to put it down, then he can't. Then he hits it 2 more times. Then he puts it down. Sometimes he picks it up. That thing, man, just get rid of that sucker. Don't take it with you. Do all your preparation beforehand. But, I'm an old washed up has-been, and he's the best player on the planet. Maybe I should get a rosin bag.
Yeah, it'd help you with the wind.
Maybe get 2 of them. So, and there's only one person that we missed.
We got to mention him.
Yeah.
Sully, baby.
Yeah, we didn't see much of him, but top 10 finish at Worlds is
awesome. He had an awesome throw in on 14.
Way downtown.
Yeah. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, that was great.
I actually got to watch a little of the Worlds with my brother this weekend. So Kyle he likes any type of underdog. So he was really rooting for Sully. He's like, oh, man, I like that guy. So congratulations to Sully. I mean, that's what an accomplishment, because he's still a young pup too.
So many young pups. So many of them. So right on. Should we talk about the courses a little bit?
Yeah, let's get into some of this, because we got to. Let's start with New London. Since they started there, we'll start there. How did you feel about the course?
Sick.
It was awesome, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, they kept calling it Woods Golf, but for these guys and their command of the game, they weren't. When I think of Woods Golf, I think you have to miss trees. These guys were just hitting fairways that were wide, just like ball golf fairways. It was really good, man. It played great, I thought.
I did too. I thought it was interesting that they changed hole 1 to where they didn't have OB right as much, and I thought that made that hole a little bit easier. But it's such a fair course as far as there's line, you hit the line, you're going to be rewarded, and I like that. I thought it was really good, really great course. But let's talk about that course as far as coverage is concerned.
It was we knew going in it was going to be some struggles. We knew that the cell phone coverage wasn't going to be good, and that's what their cameras run on, is cell phone coverage to broadcast. We saw the thing about asking people not to take their phones. I would guess 50-50 probably at best. I don't know.
So a lot of phones out there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you can tell somebody don't put that away.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I guess you could try, but that'd be an anomaly for disc golf for sure. But I see people blowing up Disc Golf Network about the pixelated coverage and losing connectivity, and we see the Kevin Jones slip, technical difficulty deal.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people are just really, really mad about that.
Yeah.
I guess maybe I've watched live coverage long enough that I remember when it was basically a dude walking around with his cell phone bouncing all over the place, like on Facebook Live type deal. And if one of my buddies is playing a tournament and that comes up, I'm going to watch it. So I guess maybe I'm more understanding to the situation, and I'm not so fired up about what I had to pay for Disc Golf Network Pro subscription to get all this coverage. I guess I just realized that kind of thing is going to happen. We are extremely lucky to get any coverage during the event. I mean, even 8 to 10 years ago, you get some coverage. It's one camera on the lead card. You don't get anything else. We're in a good place, man, and it's only going to get better. So was it awesome? No. Am I happy with it? Yes. So I mean, you keep glitching out, and I'm not mad at you.
Exactly. And I was going to say, we're having right now with the podcast, it's happening. And, it's just a part of it. It's the growing pains. We're getting there. And I'm the same way. Like, it doesn't bother me. Like, it's going to come back. It's going to be a little pixelated sometimes here and there. And that's it. There's so many other times where I'm seeing all of the coverage. There's not a hiccup at all. It's going to happen occasionally. That's technology in itself. Yeah, I don't get up in arms about it either.
Yeah, and then early in the tournament, we hear that part of this course is sold, or not sold, but a grant was given to the county. I've done a little research since then, listened to some other people. It sounds like it was from the state, 1.5 million matching money. So the county has to pony up 1.5 million to get the state's 1.5 million to have $3 million bucks, right? I mean, what kind of idiot is going to say, no, this is everybody's favorite disc golf course. We're going to turn down 1.5 million in free money. Plus, then we can turn that money into more money for our community and things for our community. And from what I understand, a lot of that ground is like conservation area, so it can't be turned into buildings and parking lots and things like that. It has to stay natural, which I think is the reason for the OB on one originally, was they wanted to keep people out of there. So that property is huge. If you look at the map, look how spread out that is.
Yeah.
I mean, and it sounds like they're losing holes 11 through 18. But yeah, they're losing about 7 holes. And from what I understand, when they originally got this property, they were told this was going to happen. They just didn't realize it was going to happen this quick. So
it's not a surprise, but they're still trying to fight it. And you saw the hashtag Save New London everywhere. I don't think that's going to be doing too much, unfortunately. It does sound like there could be some redesign, restructure to make something still happen.
Maybe they put up a building, put a huge cell tower on the top of it, fix both problems.
Hey, there we go.
Right? Definitely could happen. So no, that course was awesome.
Yeah, I really liked it. Well, let's talk about Ivy Hills then. Did that course play as awesome? What did you think about the design, the tremendous amount of OB? Give me your real thoughts here.
Well, my thoughts are I wasn't there, so I don't have a perfect, clear understanding of what I really truly like. But from what I saw from half the country away, I felt like it was a fantastic property. I feel like there's some really cool holes. It had that, to quote Nate Heinold flair, which I don't want at a world championship. I want a good disc golf course for these dudes to let the best players win. I mean, Nate Heinold flair is weird stuff, like OB 8 feet on both sides of the basket, like the basket on the cliff.
Yeah.
So, and just a tremendous amount of out of bounds. There's been a lot of discussion. Drew Gibson went off.
Yeah, he did.
And he's been going off, and he's got some valid points. What would John Houck do with that property, or Stan McDaniel, or even Eric McCabe, right? Any course designer that has designed lots of courses of all levels, what are they going to do with this property? They might have some of the same holes, right? They might have some fixes for some of these holes, but I don't want Nate Heinold, self-proclaimed average course designer, trying to design a course for the World Championships.
So from an outside perspective, how many of those holes do you actually like that you would keep them?
I think you can fix most of them. Like if that's the best flow, I think there's a few fixes here and there that you could do to make it, to take some of the fluke factor out, because it's pretty fluky. And on some of the holes is just a lot about what happens to you after the disc is hit, skipped, taken off. And yes, they could throw slower discs. Yes, they could try to do this, that, and the other, but I don't want to see them completely handcuffed. Let's look at a few holes.
Yeah. Let's look at some.
Okay, so here's hole 4. Hole 4 was one that we discussed last week. It plays 392 downhill.
Hay bales,
a little bit of OB behind, OB just a little bit behind it. It didn't suck as bad as I thought it did.
I liked it.
I'm not going to go all in on it, but they figured it out. They were throwing wide hyzers and bringing them in.
Just skipping down and popping where it didn't skip. Just kind of.
Isaac straight parked it with what looked like a mid or a putter. Luke Taylor threw a driver in there and hyzered it in. It's not a terrible hole. The drop zone's stupid.
Drop zone's the worst.
Completely terrible, because nobody's making that putt. Nobody's even running that putt. And I'm guessing not very many people are going out of bounds from that putt. It's a waste. It's a complete wasted shot. Not a terrible hole, though. Not by far the worst. Did
you like the hazard in front of the hole?
Yeah, it was fine.
I was happy with that because of where the drop zone was. I was happy that if they were that short, that close to getting there, that they didn't have to go all the way to the drop zone. They still had a fairly easy putt to potentially save their par.
Yeah, chip in for a 3.
Yeah,
it was interesting design for sure. I almost think it's backwards of what it could have been. I want to see guys going for it. So, and with that downslope behind there, I think just the whole thing being OB would be just as good. Force them to go for it. Try to land it on that little bitty sloping green and see what happens. And
then change where the drop zone's at.
Yeah. Just play. Even if you just play normal OB rules there, where you cross except then people are probably just bombing into the water on purpose type deal.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Not the worst of all of the holes, but by far not the best. Hole 5. Lost a cherry limeade to you on this one.
I was going to say, we had a cherry limeade bet, just for everyone that may not remember. Smitty was thinking 5 birds on the weekend. I said more. I think first day there they had 10.
Yeah, a lot.
But it's still not an easy hole. And it is severely uphill. But how did you like it?
It's a good hole.
Yeah.
It's good. I think it would be a more awesome par 5 if there was any way to make it longer. I don't know if they can pull that tee pad back at all. But, I put my I put my number at 5 based on Aaron Gossage and Ezra Aderholt, 2 guys that can throw the disc. Apparently Anthony Eagle, Luke Taylor can throw the disc a little better because those guys were putting it so far up that dang hill. So far up that hill. But yeah, I felt like this hole played great, man. If you could get the easiest par you ever wanted, Isaac Robinson, chip, flick, 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 all 3 rounds.
I know. Look at him. The only forehands of the weekend on this hole. And they were perfect.
No putt necessary on any of the 3 of them. So, I mean, and then we saw Calvin unleash a bomb, hit the tree, go OB. I think Luke went OB on this as well that last round, if I remember.
Yeah, he did.
But, yeah, I mean, but if you look at the stats, 10% birdies. This is just the last round, so this is after the cut. Everybody's hitting the fairway, right? 98% in the fairway. 10% birdies. So a lot of pars on it.
Yep.
66% par.
Right. You can try to go for it, but unless you have that big arm, I don't think you're getting there.
It is not a terrible hole. It actually was pretty dang good. I'll give it 2 thumbs up.
Oh, all right. 2 thumbs down for this one. So I had to look at this one again because I couldn't remember it, because this does not play like this. It's not straight. This is that one that's downhill. You had people staying out right and didn't get the skip back. Rick had the worst off the grass kick that kept him from coming back into bounds. You had people going, just a lot of the women just heaved it down there and took their OB stroke. I didn't love this. Felt a little. You talked earlier about it being fluky. Some of the holes on the course. This felt a little fluky because of how that grade went right on that sidewalk. You could have a good shot that didn't end up coming back in bounds, and I felt that was a little bit fluky, and I didn't love it because of that. If that's a flat surface where they can easily get back into bounds, that hole becomes a lot different and a lot easier to play. What'd you think about it?
This hole's garbage.
Oh, you hated it.
Yeah, it's no good at all. And I think Rick hit one of the stakes. I saw white stakes come into play more at this tournament than any tournament I've ever seen. And I think that's just because there were so many of them. The fairways were that thin that people were, you were having to play with it. And that's a whole fluke thing in itself.
Yeah.
I get why they're there so that we can see them. That was nice to have no question where everything was. But
if they remove the stakes, do you like the hole more?
No, I still hate it. It's way too skinny for the shot they're throwing. This is one I think that you could widen the fairway, make it much wider, leave this little skinny part as a hazard, and have between the hazard and the white lines as, you're in a hazard, or if you're beyond the white line, you're OB. So a really bad shot goes to a hazard. Think how many putts we saw, and part of that's because they were laying up because they didn't want to go OB.
Yeah.
But we saw a lot of putts from 30 to 45 feet above this thing. Mm-hmm. They just had to lay up because they were too scared to go for it, to get the bonus stroke. So maybe that's hazard. Maybe they go for it. Maybe you just scrap this piece of junk and get rid of it. I don't know. But 47 OBs.
It's a lot. What's that say? OB rate? 55% of the field?
For the last round.
For the best players in the field?
Yes.
Jeez, my knees. That is a little crazy.
It's dumb.
Wow.
It's dumb. So, yeah.
We have the luxury of watching the lead card, the chase card. So we don't get to see everyone else. And even they struggled on it with that stat right there, 55%, man, that makes me, there's got to be some changes if they, widen it for sure. Something's got to change. 55% is crazy.
Well, here's some names of the people we didn't get to see.
Okay.
if this tells you how dumb it is, because you kind of alluded to, we watched the best of the best.
Yeah.
Okay. How about Nate Sexton?
All right.
USCGC champion.
Yeah, he's throwing a dart.
This is hole 6. Parred it. Greg Barsby. Oh, I lied. Yeah, no, Nate did par. Greg Barsby, world champion, birdied it. Okay, so some people are James Conrad, par. There's a lot of good players who are well down the field that are getting it. But, hello. Then we have dudes taking 6 because they go out early, 5s, 6s, lots of them. It's just not a good hole.
Yeah. Yep.
Not a good hole. 340 feet down the hill for those guys. Number one, puts them between discs, I'm assuming. They want to throw something that's not going to go flat or right, so they have to probably throw an overstable disc. And now the concern is, am I skipping out left, which is the miss.
Yeah, that's definitely the miss.
But yeah, I hate it. They got to find some fix to it. This one, I love this hole at first.
It's just the drive. The drive I hate with how it gets up and rolls. I don't mind the shot coming in. I love that shot, the second shot, but that drive and the way that those discs get up and roll in every direction, it's stupid.
And even discs that land flat, we're doing that. Luke Taylor struggled on this one because I think he was throwing a mid-range off the tee or something that just went straight flat. He kept missing it right from what I saw. And I think the whole thing there is just not skip. And we saw some crazy, crazy, crazy rolls, right?
Yeah.
Joey Buckets probably rolled 120 feet.
Yeah.
Out of bounds safe type deal.
Yeah, the commentators every time it was, oh, here comes the roll. Let's look for the roll. Like, just expecting it because of, and that shouldn't be the case on a disc golf hole.
Yeah.
Off a drive anyway.
So I don't know the fix. I mean, I think the hole's awesome. I hate that fact of it. And some people are going to say, throw the disc better, land it flat, whatever. They're trying to, and they can't. And they're all rolling out left, I think. Yeah. Behind the whole left side with hay bales. They don't roll out. You still have to throw a good shot. A bad shot's still going OB left. I mean, there's an idea.
Yep.
If you have to have a hole.
Yeah.
But I mean, the hole itself, dude, tremendous long drive down a hill over a valley that's another bomb. The hole is cool.
It is.
Except for the amount of luck that factors in. And I think there's fixes for that. So it's going to be work to fix it, but I think there's fixes.
This is the one. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone is talking about it. And so let's just start with the tee shot.
Awesome.
Love it. Right? You have 2 gaps. You can choose to take a wide hyzer and make sure you get enough, because if you don't, you're going to go OB if you take it too straight. Or you can take the inside gap and throw something a little flatter.
And get a little more distance for more risky shot.
Yeah, so awesome. I love that. Shot. Yeah, awesome tee shot. The second shot, because of that hill, you can't get up that hill.
Nobody's putting the second shot on the hill.
Yeah.
I didn't see a single person do it.
So you're going to be at the bottom. The best place to land is somewhere near that sidewalk.
I'm okay with that.
Yep.
I don't hate the second shot.
Okay, now let's talk about this green. Many players have talked about how they hated this green. Many people in general, fans of the sport, have talked about how much they hated this green. I actually have a very strong opinion on this one. So I'm going to let you go first, and I want you to tell me your thoughts on this green.
I don't hate it. I actually like it. What I hate is the rocks around it, bringing random weird stuff into play. I hate that a missed putt can roll all the way down out of bounds. I hate that. I think if you clean up the rocks around it, I don't know if it's possible to remove them. I don't know if that can be done. And you just flatten it, not a big circle, 7 feet each side of the pin. So putts like James Proctor's in round 4, which was from 10 feet, perfect putt. He would putt every putt the rest of his life the same way. Pull, out, down the hill, down the trail, OB. The dude took another man's disc and threw it in 2 seconds. That's how easy the putt was.
Yep.
That's fluke.
All right. So my other side of this, just to that argument itself. Number one, I agree with the OB. So the OB around needs to change a little bit. I don't like the back OB, the backside OB on the fairway, right? Take that away because you're already punished enough. And I'd say on the left-hand side where James Proctor went OB, raise that up the hill just a tad bit. So if you do have a roll away, it's not going OB. I think that fixes that. I will say, though, you can't blame the hole for a spit out. Antila had it. Proctor had it. Both spits out, but I don't think that's the hole's fault. You know, with that hole, that if you go for a putt, any putt, and you don't make it, the risk is you roll away. What I like about this hole is you do have an area where you can lay up safe, and it's behind the basket. It's a flatter area, and a lot of people, and I think Logan even mentioned this last week, where he likes to throw something that's going to match the grade of the hill, throw something with a little ante or a little forehand and get it up on the top. And you can easily get a par on that. The people that struggled with this hole were people that were trying to go for the birdie and they missed. And because if you hit anywhere on there, you're gone. I don't hate the stairs, but I agree with you with the rocks. It needs to be cleaned up just a little bit. What I think is more of a fluke is how it happened with Isaac. Isaac stayed up because of those rocks. He could have rolled away because his angle was bad on that approach. So he got lucky, and that's what I don't like about the hole. His was a fluke in his benefit. If those rocks aren't there, does he start rolling down the hill too? And that's where it needs to be cleaned up so that if you're going to roll, you're going to roll. And I don't hate the hole. I don't hate the green.
Could you imagine if Isaacs would have rolled down the hill?
And I think that's what people are not talking about. Everyone wants to talk about the Antila putt for good reason, right? Because it was a fantastic putt. Terrible spit out. Bad roll away. Luckily, he stayed in bounds. We talked about that earlier. But no one's talking about that Isaac shot who got his way too flat. It didn't have the ante that he wanted. It flattened out. And if that rock doesn't save him, I think he's down the hill.
Yeah. Yep. So, I mean, I'm with you. I don't think I actually like the hole. I want something. I don't want to see James Proctor and Niklas rolled all the way down the hill. I wish there was something we could do there. So, but they played De La Viega for years. Used to be a mainstay on the Pro Tour, or not the National Tour before it was a Pro Tour. And people got De La'd all the time, which is hit and roll down a hill. So this isn't anything new. But I also feel like this thing was dangerous as heck.
It was steep.
On those loose rocks. I mean, they weren't just rocks, dude. They were loose rocks on that grade. So, yeah, this hole.
Before we move on, we were just in Europe, right? Those greens were crazy over there, right? There were some pretty steep greens, and no one was complaining about those. And I think it's because of the way they were all the same surface around. And I think if they just do that, people aren't complaining as much.
I agree. The rocks just bring in that look factor. Look, 5% birdies.
Yeah. So
birdie's an eagle. A par's a birdie.
And we saw Luke's birdie was from, 80 feet or something, 60 feet.
62% of the field are getting par. So that's not great either.
No, it's not.
Yikes.
Man, I wanted this to play better, but it was tough, man. Did you see KJ went forehand skip water? Logan was talking about it, and KJ did it. But yeah, they just need to trim up those trees. Maybe make it a little bit deeper. It's just you had some really good shots that went OB long.
You've used hazard on 3 holes.
Right.
Why can't you put 2 zones on this one too? You have a hazard zone, you have an OB zone. Encourage him to go for it.
1,000%.
And some of these dudes were good at this hole though, man. Simon threw a nasty shot on this hole.
He did.
And Ezra Robinson parked it. And I mean, these guys figured it out. They're the best in the world. It says 366. It looks like it played about 210 to them.
They were throwing very, very slow discs, putters.
Which, by the way, this was one of Evelina's OBs the first time they played it. She tried to lay up when OB left.
I did see that.
Yeah, and then did you see her upshot in the final round?
Oh, yeah, the tree kick.
That thing was going OB deep.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean...
Speaking of Evelina, did you think her koozie hit on 18 was going to roll?
Scared the crap out of me.
Me too.
It did roll a little bit. But
it did.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, trim this up. I mean, that island doesn't have to be that small. If you want to make it all OB, great. Just make it a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
It's what they call Nate Heinold flair.
Yeah.
So, here's the tough holes, man. Hole 14 comes in as the meanest of all. 0.44 over par. Hole 16, which was a little bit of a shocker because that's a killer hole. And Isaac Robinson makes that look like the easiest par you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah, because he plays it smart. It only played hard because people are pushing to that second zone and not making it.
Yeah, they're trying to clear that cut out of OB.
Yeah.
No surprise on 5. No surprise on 17. No surprise on 3, right? I'm a little shocked that 6 is that far down with all the OBs that we saw.
Yeah.
On that sucker. So, yeah. Interesting stuff. So
why we have this little crying baby?
Because those holes make you cry, buddy.
Okay. I thought you were saying people are crybabies for complaining about the holes.
No.
Okay.
No. Those make you cry. So I guess my last thing, did you hear about the whole Flymart debacle?
No. I didn't hear anything about this.
To be on the Flymart, part of the Flymart on the course at the venue, I heard that it was thousands to be, which I find that unbelievable. But basically, they cut everybody out because you would have lost all of your profit in the Flymart, which I don't know 100%. I don't know how it worked. I don't know who's in charge of that. But I feel like Nate Heinold is the greasiest son of a gun I've ever seen. What's Nate Heinold own?
Ledgestone?
What does Ledgestone sell?
Lots and lots of discs.
Right? So he didn't probably have to pay this huge fee to be there.
So,
now, that's just 100% my assumption. So what they did, which was awesome, is OTB and a few other people set up what they call like the Altamart or something. And they set up their own Flymart off grounds at like a little bar type area. And all of the players came and then they had like just a huge, just like party get together. And how awesome of them to say, yeah, we're not paying that. It's not we're not losing money to help your event type deal.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, you know,
I mean,
I don't think people like Nate
no, they don't. This dude,
for good reason.
this dude hooked the PDGA up with insurance for their tournaments, right? PDGA covers you on insurance, and he found a really good deal for him, and he could have got this huge, fat, hairy commission check, but he couldn't take it because conflict of interest because he's on the board of directors, so he didn't take it. But I don't know if you've noticed, but he ran Champions Cup, he ran Worlds.
Yeah, so he's got him in his pocket right now.
Maybe. So I mean, whatever. But I thought the whole Flymart thing was interesting and
That's
shady.
crazy. Oh yeah, that's just stupid. What is it like? What is something typically? Because you've vended before and stuff like that.
Well, I always weigh my odds, man. How many discs am I going to have to sell to cover that? And then
what's like a normal price?
DDO's like $150 a table, I think, or something like that.
So 10 times the amount.
Members, like, they won't charge. I don't think they'll charge me that much. But like Tulsa for the juniors, we could have went there and sat up that day. We went free. They wanted people there.
Wow.
So, which wouldn't you want to add to your player experience? You're not your player, but your fan experience of these people who are buying these tickets to come watch. So yeah, that was kind of a crappy deal. So,
well, pretty cool that they the Altamart, whatever it is called. That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Oh,
a lot of DNFs.
Yeah.
A lot of DNFs. I know a little bit about some of them.
Yeah. So tell me why.
Squat about all of them. Well, Ezra said that she had some crackling callus that she's had since Des Moines Challenge. Sounds painful to me.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know if you noticed, but these courses were rather large, rather steep.
Yes, they were.
I'm guessing if your body isn't feeling good, you don't want to be there. I don't know what happened to Sarah Gilpin. Kona Star Montgomery. From what I read, they had to cart her off of the course. Something with her gallbladder or something, which this chick can't catch a break, dude.
No, dude.
So that explains Colton as well.
Yep.
Matty O was having knee pain that he's been having forever. And once again, up and down these hills probably is pretty taxing on the body. But the most interesting one, and the one I'm excited to hear this guy talk about, is Brody. Supposedly this dude got stung by like 15 to 18 wasps or bees or something, swarmed his butt and took him. Yeah. So that one I'm excited to hear about. So that'll be fun.
Wow.
That'll be fun. Oh, and before we go to our picks, I got two names I'm going to throw out.
Okay.
And I want to see what you know about these two guys. Dennis Augustin and Tristan Tanner.
Okay. Don't know Dennis at all. Tristan. Yeah, we know Tristan. What about these dudes?
They made the finals. Okay. They're the only two players to make the finals and not get paid.
So they paid it. How many made it?
86. I'm guessing it was like 83 plus ties or something.
Oh, no.
No, it was 84 in ties.
Okay.
And then Garrett
82.
Garrett Gerthy and Big Perm tied for last cash.
Oh, fine. Man.
And edged out Dennis by 1 stroke and Tristan by 5. So these guys got the honor of playing Ivy Hill in the finals and nothing to show for it.
My goodness. It's about the experience, Smitty.
I think I would rather experience sitting back watching.
For sure. Poor dudes.
I'm sure they were long done before the guys they wanted to watch finished.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
Wouldn't that suck?
That would be terrible.
Wonder if it happened on the women's side. But yeah, what a bad deal. I mean, couldn't you just find a way to pay them?
Seriously, give them something.
Give them that entry fee back. Do something.
That was some pretty impressive payouts too. Yes, 30,000 for first. Yes, but on the men's side, I think 17 on the women's side.
Yep, pretty awesome.
That's going to conclude what's popping.
Great a long week. Segment, but it was worth it.
All right, well, let's move into our next segment, our last segment of the day. Bum-ba-da-dum! Weekly picks.
We have the survivors to talk about too.
We do, and I have that pulled up. So
we got 2. Here we go. The weekly picks. I didn't do a lot of research this week because, well, quite frankly, I didn't need to.
Yeah.
So,
man,
for the stinks, you guys went Crush Boys. I went Luke. No doubt how this played out.
Yeah.
I couldn't give myself a red or green for stink because top 30 is pretty good. That's not stinking, dude.
No.
That's really good.
That's really fantastic.
Yes, and you guys
probably above his normal, but getting a top 3, a podium finish, that's not a good stink.
Nope, and neither is 7th.
Yeah.
So pretty
poor.
Pretty bad stink picks.
Yeah, not good. So starting with the red. I see a trend here probably for me.
Sleepers. Logan, Little Nick. We know how that played out.
I did want to let Logan know. Didn't get to let him know last week, but is Niklas really a sleeper? Is Matty O really a sleeper?
Yes, Matty O is.
Well, we know how Matty O finished. Garrett Girthy was a real sleeper. He didn't do well, though. Let's see how they finished. Yeah. So, thankfully.
I got a red for sure because Matty O said, I'm out of here, y'all. Took off.
And my guy got last cash. Let's go.
At least he's not Tristan Tanner or Dennis Augustin. And then Logan about got it.
He did. Great sleeper pick, Logan. If you want to consider him.
Yeah, we may have to revamp the rules on what a sleeper truly is. Well. I went Vinny.
Mm-hmm.
You went Ezra. And Logan went Beast. Oh, damn.
All right, so we all got white. It looks like you forgot to put them in. So tell us you got green?
I got green for top 4.
Yeah. You gave me yellow.
And then Logan gets red because shine is just where they finish. That's the only thing we look at. So, yeah, the bell must have rang and my planning period was probably over.
At the end of the day, 2 top 10s on the shine. I think we did pretty good there. And
even Logan did good.
Yeah. And Beast was kind of in contention all week. He kind of fell off, I think, the last couple rounds. But it was still awesome to see Paul getting nearly a top 15.
He gets that putt figured out again.
Yeah. Speaking of getting that putt figured out, your guy there.
I'm taking him USDGC.
You can't pick him in a major, bro.
Okay. I'll take Isaac.
It's probably a fair bet.
Right on.
All right, dude. Let me share my screen, and we'll talk a little bit about Survivor League still going on. Look at this, dude. We have the one, the only, Patsy is going to be leaving Survivor League because of Matty O.
Probably my fault.
Did you talk her into it?
No, but I had him also.
Yeah. Looking at Sean, he picked Chris Dickerson, which phenomenal pick. He was 11th. Kyle tied 9 with Ezra, and Tyson got the win with iRob. So these 3 gentlemen will be picking for D-Glow, not this week, but next week, and we'll see who they go with. So congratulations to the 3 of you. Patsy, Sean did message me and said, you know what? I already feel like a winner because I outlasted Patsy. So, so congratulations to you all.
Right on. So, yeah, we're off until we don't have anything this weekend, 31st, 1st. So the next Pro Tour event is, D-Glow on September 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. 4-rounder. Must be a plus.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Let me see who the TD of that is.
Oh, boy.
I already know. Pretty sure. Oh, looky there. Nate Heinold.
I wonder if he's going to add any of that Heinold flair to that course.
I hope not. I hope not.
Oh, goodness. All right, man. Well, great episode. Thanks for rocking it out with me. Let's jump into shout-outs for the week. Do you have anything that you'd like to share?
Yeah, all the people that came out to the Glitch-Tall event and took over Evergreen Park for the morning and threw some glitches around. That was a good time. It was hotter than heck out there. And then once again, I keep getting more and more kids signed up for the Kansas Junior Championships, and I'm really excited about that. And I think we have 13 paid spots left, so we still need 13 people. All
right. I love to hear it. And I'm going to give a shout out to the one, the only Mr. Jeff Priest, who let Flights League come on out, play on his property, and people loved the course. A lot of people had never played it. You know, he's got 2 sets of pins out there now, a yellow and a red. So he's got shorts and longs. He's got monkey traps for the longs and the Paulson Gen 2s for the reds. He's got concrete tee pads, and that place was looking immaculate. You'll actually be able to see soon a course preview on Disc and Deals coverage. We're going to drone it out for him. So it's going to be really fun. But if you have never played that course, just contact Jeff and get out there and play it. It's awesome. I know you've played it, Smitty. He said at the OG design, you like shot a 16 under or something that's still like a course record out there that no one can touch since it doesn't exist anymore. So congratulations to you.
So, yeah, that course, I played that a lot of times when I lived in Winfield. It was just right up the road. But of course, it's always been fun. And, you know, Jeff's a stud. And I can't wait until the scholarship tournament heads back out there. I think he said not this year, but the following maybe.
I'm thinking it might be this year.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so, because that's it's always a treat to have people. I think his biggest issue generally is parking. Where's he going to put people? So
yeah, he's got a big old pasture. That's where we all parked. But
done.
Yeah, super cool. And that isn't that the dream? Just to live on some property and have your own course. Although
I don't want to mow.
Maintaining that, he was telling me a little bit about how much that costs in gas. Yeah, I instantly said, well, maybe that's not my dream anymore.
That's a lot of work. About 10, maybe 12 years ago, burnt to the ground, dude. All those cedar trees out behind caught fire.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's I haven't been there in a while, so
dude, you got to get back out. It was looking
cedar trees everywhere, I'm sure.
It was looking spectacular. Absolutely beautiful. But all right, let's jump into the 19th hole, which was I'm going to rephrase how we say this because I've been getting some flack. It's not the best shot of the tournament. A lot of times we play the best moment of the tournament. And so that's what you're about to see right now with the 19th hole. We'll hope to see you on the next one. Are we going to have one next week?
Play it by ear.
We'll play it by ear. We'll let you know. But hopefully we see you on the next one. Thanks for tuning in. Take care. Bye-bye now.